The Reality War aired last night on BBC One, BBC iPlayer, and at the cinema. And I want to say, are people really now beginning to touch grass? Now, I do not know how the ratings for the cinema add to the ratings for Doctor Who. I really don't understand how that works, whether or not it counts. I really do not know. So we're going to focus solely on what we got for the overnights at the moment. So, without further ado, hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters, not by myself. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, switch on the notification bells so that you know I am releasing another video. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. I cannot run this channel without you. Please do remember to keep it friendly in the chat. This particular type of video can get the chat quite heated. I am aware of that. And I am also aware that viewing figures have changed over the years because how we view TV has also changed. So I am aware of that. I do take that into account when I make these types of videos. So Doctor Who TV were the first ones, as far as I'm aware, who have reported the overnight viewing figures. It comes in at 2.17 million people from the overnights, with an increase of 1.83 million. Now, today's video on the ratings is going to be slightly shorter because I'm going to be going out. So I'm just focusing mostly on the ratings. I will ask your opinions on this particular story in a separate post. I know I haven't done it yet at this time of recording, but it will be done at some point because I plan to make a massive review of the entire series. So 1.83 to 2.17 million in the overnights for the finale. I think that it was higher than what I was expecting. I knew it was going to go up for sure, without a doubt, because it's the series finale. I don't think I expected it to crack the 2 million mark. I always dot around with a lot of figures in my head over the week as to what it's possibly going to achieve for overnight ratings and consolidation. But I would say that this series has been very consistent. The overnight rating score, they are quite important because what they do is they indicate how many people are interested in watching it on the night versus what people are watching on catch up later on in the week, and how many people are willing to go ahead and watch on terrestrial TV nowadays. And these figures will be utilized by the BBC, they will be utilized by the Barb and anyone that records ratings, and they will monitor trends. So the series has consistently scored below 3 million on the overnights, and I would suggest that it's not going to break more than 4 million on the consolidation. I can imagine that RTD, Bad Wolf, are not happy about those particular ratings. I know a lot of people talk about Disney and from the Disney perspective, but you set Disney aside, forget about Disney for a minute. These ratings for the BBC and for Doctor Who is lower, consistently lower than what we have had all throughout, and it is cancellation territory. To get out of cancellation territory, the consolidation probably needs to be consistently over 5 million, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Now, Disney will obviously want some kind of sort of financial gain and payoff for that in that regards of what they are looking for, and obviously they will make their decision in due course as to whether or not they are going to continue with their funding. And if they don't continue, I would say that there's going to be a brief pause. I'm a hiatus bunny, I've made that very clear. BBC will reevaluate the funding and they will make their decision, and what will be will be. And I don't like looking at it like that because I do love Doctor Who, and I don't really want it to be cancelled. I don't think that's necessarily the best option for it, but I think give it one more go after a hiatus, see what happens with that, and then maybe look at cancellation. I don't know, but the last story that we had, it just did not meet the mark, and it's reflecting in well, the entire series is reflecting in the overnight scores, the consolidation scores. Don't even know what the 28-day scores are going to be just yet. I also pulled this from Ratings UK. Now, this is overnight versus official for 12th to the 18th of May. And Race Across the World. Now, I've not seen that. Is that reality? I don't know if it's a reality TV show or not. But they say it remains a beast when it comes to catch up, adding 2.79 million, well ahead of anything else, even Code of Silence, which gained 2.19 million in 7 days of catch up. And you can see here, normally, Doctor Who in the past, probably even with Jodie, would have at least once come into the top 10 of this, at least once, I would say, at least once with Jodie, and probably multiple times, even back when RTD achieved what we thought was impossible and revived the show. But the first one, naturally, of course, is Eurovision Song Contest. And these were the figures that I wanted the other day. But for some reason, I could not find them anywhere. And I don't know why. But I've got them now. So the overnight ratings were 6.69 million for Eurovision. It's event TV. I expected it to be quite high. And 7.07 million in the consolidation, which placed it first, and it got a plus 0.38 million. And it's not shifted places. And the Antiques Roadshow, which I didn't expect to be second. Antiques Roadshow, for those of you who are in the USA, is a show that has been on since I was a child, if not longer. And look, it is second. I'm a millennial, okay, just to put that into perspective, okay, for my age. But that shows you, even old TV shows that people would think are redundant are now consistently outperforming something like Doctor Who in its weekly consolidation. And it's moved up from 8th place to second. Wow. And then the FA Cup, as expected, is also on that list in 3rd place. And then it's Britain's Got Talent in 4th, BBC Weekend News in 5th, and then the news at 6 on BBC on 6th. 7th is Code of Silence, 8th is Race Across the World, and then 9th is BBC News at 6 again, and BBC News at 6 again for 10th place. So the news outlets are doing their job and getting the news out there clearly much more than what Doctor Who is doing at the moment. I also took a look on Flix Patrol, and it did not chart in the United States according to Flix Patrol. Obviously, I have no clue what Disney have viewings wise and minutes wise for Doctor Who. I've not seen it on the Nielsen's. I don't have a Nielsen's tile card in this video today. I'm saving that for next week. But yeah, it's not there, okay? And then we've got on the 31st of May, this is worldwide, we've got Grey's Anatomy, Modern Family, The Simpsons, Bluey, Star Wars, Malcolm in the Middle, Desperate Housewives, Criminal Minds, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, okay, 9 Puzzles. So a lot of old TV shows there as well. And whilst I haven't asked you in this video for your thoughts on this story, and don't worry, I will do. I did take a quick look at Rotten Tomatoes, and I've got, as you can see, a little bit of a varied score going here on the screen. This person says, exciting at some points, but muddled in others. I agree. Doctor Who needs to tone down the nostalgia factor. I also agree with that, by bringing back an overload of classic characters and take their time building more cohesive storylines. Visual effects were great though, and I thought Archie Panjabi made an excellent Rani. I agree with that. There are not enough episodes to tell the story RTD wants to tell, which is a shame. I also agree with that statement. I've been watching since the third episode, 3 in 1963, and even I find 8 episodes doesn't keep me invested in the show. Question is though, when they did the William Hartnell era, because there were multiple parts, more than what we get now, to his stories, did that keep you invested? I'd be interested to know if there were a difference in that case. This person also says, even with a few weak spots and plot holes, okay, I would say there were more than a few, but okay, fine. Doctor Who is still a witty and fun time with cool creatures and futuristic worlds. Okay, fine. You liked it. It's okay to like it. Now, this person is not so keen. I don't have the full review on the screen, but I'll read what is here and you'll get the gist of what this person is trying to say. The series started off on good footing, but the finale was just terrible. Full of glub poopy and flashbacks because the writers clearly have no trust in audiences' memories. Now, that I do agree with. RTD likes to keep it short and brief because he doesn't believe that people have the attention span to invest in that type of show anymore. The actual finale of the reality war was so clumsy, the episode ends like 15 times. The moment you think that's it, it just keeps going. I found myself frustrated. How many times they throw a curveball out of nowhere and suddenly the characters jump back? Yeah, and there's a point where I think that the story was supposed to have ended, but then it just carried on. I also have another theory about the ending of it, because I said that I felt like the regeneration was sort of shoehorned in, and I still stand by that. The other theory that I've now got was that it was always going to be Belinda being the mother of Poppy. And I think what was supposed to happen was that the Doctor was going to go and do this stuff that he was going to do within the vortex, maybe. He was going to find a way to make it happen. But it was going to be different to how they made it happen. But when Ncuti had to leave, be it whether or not he made the choice to leave or he was fired or they agreed to go their separate ways, they then got him back in to film the regeneration, and they replaced the bits where he was supposed to be saving Poppy and made that the regeneration storyline because they couldn't really go back in and change anything else for reasons. So, and then this person says, awful, utterly ruined my favorite program. So, in a nutshell, I know this video is shorter than normal. Those were the ratings. 2.17 million for the overnight. I think the consolidation, and I'm going to be generous here, is going to be no more than 4. I would say probably somewhere between 3 and 4 million. And yeah, that's me being generous. But it's definitely at the stage where they need to look and reevaluate what is going on. They say and claim in their audit that it is their biggest money spinner. So prove it. Give us the money spinning figures. I guess I could go and find those if I were to look through the million pages of finances at their company's house for Bad Wolf. those documents are available, but that will be one heck of a read, I can tell you for sure. So I will do a much more detailed video for next Sunday where we look at the entire series, talk about that, look at the ratings, and have that as the next week's 4 p.m. video. But for now, that's it from me. And I should say it's a good night from Rachel, but I'm not going to, honestly. I will be on the Sense Sphere tonight at 5:45. So I will see you then if you would like to join me there with Brendan on his channel. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Chat about it, don't shout about it. And I will see you soon. Bye bye.